that. So we are back up and live though. So please continue.
That's what happened.
That's right. We're on Daisy, so we're good. Yeah, I think the as far as prioritizing time, etc., if you just block it out and manage your time instead of trying to squeeze in games here and there, and I can't because I got to do this. You're stressing about something else. You're distracted. So make sure it's planned well in advance. Say, okay, this is my game night, or this is my time I'm gonna play, and have it blocked out so that there's no distractions, no one to bother you, and everyone's good to go with this time that you're playing, and then just put your full focus on it, and try to have fun. Have fun while playing. Enjoy it. Spam/laugh like Singed. If that makes you happy, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's a really good point. If I have stuff to do around the house that's not done and I try playing, my mind is like, I should be doing something else right now. And I'll completely zone out. Yep. I'll get distracted and I'll get frustrated. But I'm frustrated with myself and it happens in game. I'm like, I should have done the dishes. I should have done the dishes before I got in the game. But I'll do them later. And then I'm thinking about that the whole time. Just go and do what you need to do and then come back to it. Right.
When I came home from today after bringing the kids up, I made them do the dishes, and I walked downstairs and took care of some drama while they were doing the dishes.
Enjoy the crusted food on your clean dishes, then.
Mine have chores too, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, they're limited, so I can't have them do all of the housework and then be like, I'm gonna go play League, peace out, and just go play.
No.
But what you have to decide, at some point, if you only have a certain amount of time, are you gonna watch TV or are you gonna play League or are you going to, what you have to just decide what's more important to you, and don't let it take away from your responsibilities or your other life things either. Especially like Horse said, it goes away. That League 5 years from now probably won't mean anything to you.
Whoa. No.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
League of Legends is life, and this is what I'm pushing. No, okay.
I've been playing since my 20s.
I remember when I was a kid, I would come home from school, and my dad was in law school at the time, and he'd always be playing Gran Turismo, and I think he really enjoyed playing Gran Turismo, and Gran Turismo is still one of my favorite games, and I buy it when it comes out. But he finished school and he spent time with his family, and I think that's the most important thing. Is that I'm sure he enjoyed playing it at the time, but it's not the thing you remember 5 or 10 years from now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you Utes. My dad was always addicted to Pong. He was playing that a lot, and never had time for his family. Space Invaders. No, not that old.
My dad is the one that got me into games. I remember we'd play together. I don't know anyone else that ever played Brain Lord on the NES or Super NES, but we had tracing paper up to the screen, making our own maps and stuff. So if you want to get your kids involved, that's fine. I know we have one listener who casts with his son, they shoutcast really games.
Anakin.
That's pretty fun. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I can't remember.
That's awesome.
Okay,
you know what?
That's
a good point.
Yeah.
My dad would I have a twin brother, and when we were growing up, he'd get us to help. We were putting wood up on the roof, on the inside of the roof, putting up the insulation and everything, and we were helping him out as kids. But in between, we would take shifts playing Falcon 3, that flight simulator. We would play and then try to get a certain score amount of kills on that, and then it would be a time limit. And then, okay, I'm up at noon. He'd print out these little Corel Draw clip arts of our call signs. I was Rocket or something. My dad was Mighty Mouse. It was things like that. So we had a good time. Gaming can be a good thing for the family to do as a whole. So it's just League of Legends. Make it fun. Make it fun, and then if you want to climb the ranks, say, "All right, go to bed. Daddy's playing." Just sit there and
man, this all hits home so
pull
hard.
Yourself
that's
away.
what I do. You're going to bed. No,
I still have a copy of Pokemon Pinball. If anyone's watching stream, it's on that shelf anymore. It's a Game Boy Color game. And I still haven't beaten my dad's high score on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was a good game.
All right, so to recap, there's a whole bunch of points here in this episode, and that's there are points that you already know, but you may not what's the word I'm looking for here? You may not want to acknowledge because you figure there's something else that's stopping you from gaining rank, either the players you're playing with or the knowledge you may not know. But essentially what we're saying is first and foremost, always play to have fun, because if you're not playing to have fun and you're just playing to gain elo, you're not playing the game for its intended purpose. While Elo may be
Set yourself up to get mad, yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, while you may hit Plat 5 or Gold 5 or whatever it may be that your final season goal is, and that's going to feel great for an hour. You're going to be riding, sky high. But did you have fun getting to that point? Did you have fun playing with the community? Did you have fun doing those things? You know what I miss the most is because of, in the last 4 months, the network has been pushing very hard forward with, we have a new podcast, we're pushing hard to go into events, we're doing a lot of other things, and I haven't had time to play this game as often as I'd like, because I have to, push us to get the name out there so people listen. But I miss sitting down on a Saturday afternoon and being able to play for 6 hours with the community and just play fun games and just do stupid stuff and just play whatever the hell I wanted, because that was fun. That's more memorable to me than hitting platinum for the very first time. No matter how much I talked about in this podcast, playing those 5-hour games on those Saturdays is more memorable to me than hitting platinum for the very first time, just because of how much fun I had and the experience that it gave me, rather than the stress that I induced into myself and the week that I took off of work and all that stuff. So play to have fun, and 2, playing to have fun will lead to gaining ranks, as long as you're analyzing your gameplay and you are trying to pick out your mistakes.
There's a really important part to analyzing your gameplay, and I think we covered it a couple months ago, but it feeds into this really well, is you have to look at everything very objectively and take the emotion out. Because if you we tell you it's your fault. Like, if you lose a game, there's something you could have done better. And there's truth to that. But the moment you embrace it so much that you're like, I am so bad. I should have done this. I should have done that. I'm terrible at this game. Like, if I was better, then I could be... Stop. Like, if you missed an ult, then you missed an ult. That's it. It's just a fact. It's nothing to get emotional over. It's something that now you know what happened. You can move on. You can grow from it. But if you start negative self-talk and you're drilling into yourself where you're not good at the game or it's your fault you're losing, there are going to be games that at the end of the day, someone else could have done something better to help you in that game too. You need to take it as what you could have done better, but that doesn't mean that you can't look objectively at your games and been like, wow, okay, yeah, Wukong missed that ult. Okay, yeah, it happened. It's objective. You don't have to get upset with him. You're probably never going to play with him again, but you just need to be very calm about what you're watching and not blame yourself for it entirely. Like, you should look at how to get better, but don't drill it into yourself and beat yourself up about it, because it's not going to help you at all.
Yeah, and the other token, don't focus on the other players. Like, I'm watching my replay, but I'm watching everyone else screw up and go, that's why. That's what happened.
And if you do notice something, don't get upset about it. It happened.
All right, do you guys want good cop or bad cop first? Because I have 2 pretty good points.
Hey,
Adam, pick one.
You can argue with yourself, because that would be entertaining.
I was thinking the same thing. You good cop, but humorously, I was thinking the same thing while I was listening to Days, where you could good cop, bad cop this. You could pick out both. You could go ahead. Let's go.
No, not this. The 2 totally separate points. One's just okay. One's nice. All right, so good cop. Days and Pwn have touched on a couple of things, and they've loosely mentioned them, but objective reasoning and critical problem solving are the 2 big things they touched on, and self-awareness. And if you don't hit your ranked goal, like we said, this thing will be gone in whatever time. I don't want somebody to feel bad because they didn't hit their ranked goal. And remember that regardless of what your rank is or what your elo, if you sit down and you work on your critical problem solving, your objective reasoning, your self-awareness and stuff like that, these are skills that will translate into the rest of your life, and you will be a better person because of it. But if you just sit there and rage all the time, you're not taking as much from it. So even if you mess up, you don't get the rank you want, these are really important life skills that you're learning and you're working on. And the bad cop part of this, Riot Light episode, and something that I've been saying for a long time, and somebody who has a minor in statistics and studies statistical models for my graduate work, mathematical systems aren't random, and things don't happen without a reason. And the system isn't out to game you or get you. If you have 100 or 150 games, you're not there because of your teammates or something else. And we've said that 1,000 times, but as somebody who really, really, really studies math, and every day I'm surrounded by math and I deal with math in school and everything, I've never seen something random happen. I've seen stuff that I can't explain happen, for, I don't know, a biological model or something, but it's not random. Random stuff doesn't happen in mathematical systems. So don't think you're an outlier or the system's out to game you or something.
Yeah. We've said it 100 times. If you've played 400 games and you are at a rank and you haven't moved from that rank in 100 games, 50 games, I'll even go as low as 50 games, you are where you are at because you haven't learned to get above that. I mean, 400 games, that's a lot of games to play. I have 160 games total played, and I'm still climbing. Like, I haven't leveled out yet. I might level out at Platinum 2. I might play another 100 games and never make it out of this. God knows where I'm going to end at. But just keep in mind that you need to play quite a number of games before you level out. Most people need to play a lot of games to level out. And I think Horse's point there is relevant. So the only point. Go ahead. And well, no, the only thing I was going to say is that there are some exceptions to the rule, but the exceptions are so wild and crazy that you would never expect them to happen, much like my buddy Wrecker, who has 600, 400 to 600 games played, but he is such a wild exception to that rule that you can never use him as a example for anybody else because
he's Wrecker.
Because he's Wrecker and he plays this game under various states.
Own way.
He fluctuates more than Daze does.
Well, there's something in science we have called a control group. Wrecker is not a control group.
Yeah, no, he's not at all.
It's a variable.
I just want to make sure. It's hard to quantify. That's why I know you and I have talked in the past, Horse, about the way we talk on this podcast and some things we've said. Like we talk in a lot of broad, wild states, but that's because there's so many different types of people that listen to this podcast. If you are the type of person like your Wrecker where you play under various states of mind, you might be that 1.1% outlier. But
I gotta tell you though, he's almost a perfect example of like a really blatant thing. So most of the time, like if you're stuck somewhere, there's probably a couple little things that you could do to get to a better place. You just need to identify what they are. Like for me, when I was in bronze, it was playing aggressively. For other people, it may be not dying as often. Like there's something that can help you get where you are. Like Wrecker's a really good example because if he were to stop playing so drunk and other things all the time, he'd probably be a lot higher. Like if you changed one thing,
right?
Oh, he's certainly a lot higher.
Right, exactly.
Hey.
All he has to do is change one thing. So there's probably other things. Like if you just change one or two things and you focus on them, you could probably also improve.
You know what I changed to improve? And it's that I stopped playing under a state of intoxication, ranked. Instead, I play early morning after I've had a cup of coffee. And I am in a clear state of mind. I have nothing else on my conscience for that day. And that has helped me improve because I can focus on the game. And right. I've found that I play much better early morning after I've taken a shower, after I've had a cup of coffee. About 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, I play the best right then because I have nothing else.
You know what?
Nothing else that to happen in the day.
It's because you had the shower, you had the coffee, and you're not drunk or tired or worn down. It's not because the kids are at school and the better players happen to be out there. You know, don't look for those excuses in the world you cannot control. So I like how you brought that up. But I also like how Horst was saying you learn actual good life skills when you learn how to cope with losing. Learn how to lose. You will lose, and you know what? You're going to be pissed off some games. And then you just got to kind of reflect and go, I'm mad because my imaginary guy died to those imaginary guys' imaginary ganks. Okay, all right. Maybe I need to reevaluate this.
Guys, sportsmanship is a thing. Could you imagine going out on like a sports field and playing on a team and you lose a game and you start like screaming and throwing things and it's everyone else's fault and you're so perfect and you know you're I don't even know, you're RJ3 and you're the best quarterback in the league and it's everyone else's fault. Like
are we talking about soccer right now? That's exactly what it sounds like.
But seriously, like if you do that,
no, not RJ3. Sorry, not RJ3 soccer. Just soccer players. They take hits and they fall. Go ahead.
But honestly, if you were to do any of that in like a real sports team, people would laugh at you and you would never play again. Like coaches don't let you play after that. I mean, people have gotten medals taken away in the Olympics for being bad sports. Like at some point, you just have to realize that what you do, like you have to be accountable for your own actions. And I don't know what happened to accountability and sportsmanship in like online gaming, but they don't exist. So you have to take, like, you have to take that into your own hands. And this is, I know we only have a minute left, but I had 2 seasons ago in season 3, I had a friend and he was grinding for diamond and he was waiting to like the last week. Like he was in he literally, the night that ranked ended, he lived on the West Coast. So he queued up for his last game at like 11 o'clock at night. And he was 2-2 in series. All right.
Why?
He was at, and no joke, because I spec'd this game. They played the game. It was his 5th game. They were winning the game. And at the end of the game, his team decided to troll. And the other team had the surrender vote. And at the time, I don't know if it still happens, but if the enemy team did a surrender vote and then you surrender vote and yours passed, yours counted. So even though the other team had already surrendered, his team's surrender vote counted, and he lost diamond off of it. So if you ever want to tell me that your teammates screwed up something for you, it could always be worse. Because that was the last possible game that he could have played in order to get diamond
yes or no?
season. He hit no. But there's always something worse. Like, at the end of the day, like,
oh my God,
you can't be closer than that. So just don't. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go, because I mean, if he were to get that upset about it and never play the game again, like, if he can get over that and still play this game, then you can get over your Elise feeding or whatever happened, or your AD carry not last hitting well. There's just things that you gotta.
Can you
get over?
Since you said to let it go, can you break into Disney song?
No, I can't. But you're more than welcome to.
Hear it? Let it go, let it go. All right, punch.
Let this episode go.
I'd sing it if I knew the song.
Hey, I can go get the 5-year-old. She could sing it for us.
I'm sure Dom could sing it for us, too.
I bet she knows the lyrics too.
Yeah, it's that
Dom
o'clock.
is the
She's
album.
asleep.
Can I mention one last thing that we forgot to cover? Yeah. And that's the fact that in the last couple weeks and last month, you're going to come across people who are boosting, people who are getting carried. You're going to have them on your team, and you're going to be against them because people pay to get to different ranks. And you have to take that as the same, like, RNG that happens when your team is put together. You have just as much likelihood that they're on your team as on the opposite team. And if you are facing one, Last Shadow says it a lot for anyone who watches him. You should be excited to play against a booster, because if you really want someone to show you how to gain rank in your elo, if you really want someone to show you how to take control of a game, then you go back and you watch that game, because they will take advantage of, like Horst was saying about the vision control, they'll take advantage of a lot of things that you didn't even realize. And it's an opportunity. It's kind of like a free coaching session, because they will make moves on every single one of your mistakes.
We say that a lot about, so we police Battle Arena very heavily, the best of our ability, but we say that a lot, like with SmackDown and whatnot, is that if you happen to be in that one game out of 20 where some random Smurf came in, you should be happy you played against that person, because that taught you a lot more about the game than any Shoutcaster or any other game you could have played, just because they gave you the real-life experience of playing against somebody that's better than you. So go back and watch. Why did I lose? Usually you only need to watch First Blood. Second Blood is probably because you just played too far forward. I guess you could watch that too. There's something to learn from that. But usually you watch First Blood. They hit level 3 and they dove me because they leveled up their ability so quickly and they killed me. Random example. That's what you could take from that if you watch that replay. And would somebody have told you that, or would you have figured that out on your own without watching that replay? Probably not. But that's the most excellent advice that I think I've heard this entire podcast, is if you happen to come across a Smurf and you get dominated in lane, go back and figure out why.
And that's really true. I notice the inverse a lot when I get out of ranked and I play normals. I jump back into ranked, and I notice that, like, I didn't get punished for my mistakes for so long that I'm making more mistakes than I normally would, and it's certainly something that's noticeable. And in real life, how I get better at anything is the same way I got good at League. I get good at running by running with people who are faster than me. I get good at wrestling by wrestling with people who are better than me. And I got good at League by spamming 1v1 with the player who is way better than me. It's just you should really appreciate that experience in any way you can get it.
Are you saying you did the same thing to Claude, or did you teach Horse?
I was that 1v1 player.
Oh.
That was way better than him. That's all. Back in my day.
I think we are going to roll this out now to the conclusion, because we have some other things to get to at the end of this night. that's pretty much how you need to look at rank this season. You got about 2 months left. We'll have a full report once they announce the end of the season, or when we get to the end of the season, we'll have a full report of where people ended, or at least those people that were trying. Because I know some of us, like Chira, for example, who he played, I think, all of, 25 or 30 ranked games this season, and he got to Plat 5, and he just ended it there. And there are some of us who actually tried this season and tried to push a little harder. So we'll see what some people did and whatnot. We'll push it. We'll get to an episode of that later. Guys, thank you so much for listening to Trinity Force Podcast. Thank you guys for supporting us and being part of the community. I hope you guys are looking forward to next Friday's episode where we talk about being a part of community and what it means to push the community forward, because we're really excited to talk about that as much as we're excited to give you guys tips and tricks on how to get better at this game. So that is going to conclude episode number 292 of the Trinity Force Podcast.
I want to make one note,
and I was going to throw it out there. Is anyone else have anything else to say? Go ahead, Horace.
So we didn't touch on much gameplay stuff, and as somebody who's been doing Patreon replays and coaching for a while, I really don't think gameplay is what's holding a lot of people back. If you really do focus on a lot of this mental stuff and objective analysis and critical problem solving and improve these skills, you can do it yourself. And you say, oh, maybe I can't improve in gameplay because I don't know the things that I need to do. Well, if you take more time to actually think about them and work on these things that we talked about in these episodes, you're smarter than you think. You can figure these things out. And most of grinding rank as somebody who gets very high in any game I play isn't that, well, I do end up getting good at the game, but it's not I'm a god as soon as I touch the game. It's just working on these skills. And
yeah, no, that's totally true. It's the same thing. I started, I'll just throw that out there. I'm not good at Hearthstone by any means, but I picked it up a month ago. But I went and found people who made me better at it. But at the same time, I also admitted that I was dog shit when I started and took advice. So please try to figure out where you feel that you are at in the game. I'm not telling you that you are bad at the game by any means, but try to figure out where you feel that you are at, and then try to make
train to improve.
Try to make a critical decision based on
if you don't hit your rank goals, don't sweat it. It's just a game. There's always next season. So good luck. Hope you hit it. But if you don't, no big deal. Try to have fun.
Ball is life. League is life.
Or something too. Like
play Soraka.
Who cares? It's Sivir.
Play Face Hunter. Make it to rank. Make it to Legend. Face Hunter. No problem. I mean,
play Volibear top.
Play Volibear top. Yes.
I can vouch for that.
Top turn. I'm 2-0 in top turn this season. 2-0.
There you go.
It's a good sample size there.
It is. Thank you. Yep. All right, guys. That's episode number 292 of the Trinity Force Podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you all next week. Peace.
Bye, guys.
Bye.